so happy. Welcome to Rod Talks, the Bad Boys of Spirituality, with Rod Lyman and Emil Faith.
Hey, y'all.
Hey, all. Hello.
We're bad.
I love it. It's been so long. I can't believe it.
It's been years. 4 years.
It feels like it. It does.
Yeah.
So let's catch up. I mean, first of all, you got to check my beard out. Look at this.
Is that what you call a beard? That's
you like that? That's
you forgot to shave. It's just, yeah.
Yes.
I like it. You got it fully connected now. I like that.
Yeah, it is. It's fully connected. Yeah, it comes.
Yeah.
And then it comes to
Very
the point.
impressive.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Got my pink glasses on.
That's my favorite part of the attire, actually.
Where are your pink glasses?
I do have some put away. If I'd have known, I'd have brought them.
Yes. So
next time.
Today is about pink.
I'm gonna go gray blue with you.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah.
So today we're talking a little bit about, well, not a little bit. We're talking about anxiety.
Anxiety. Just the thought of it. It makes me anxious.
I get anxious over that thought of the anxiety. What is anxiety to you, Doc? What is anxiety?
I mean, it's that feeling like you're not. I mean, you can describe it in different ways. For me, it's like you feel like you're not in control of your body. I mean, anxiety. If you've had a panic attack, and I don't know how many people have had a panic attack out there, but it's horribly uncomfortable.
Me.
Yeah, right here. Have been there, done that. But your knees start shaking, your heart starts racing, you start sweating, you feel like you could pass out. Some people do pass out.
Absolutely.
It's that feeling of you're like out of your zone. You're not even there. You're like, what's happening to me? You're not in control of yourself. And that feeling of lack of control is freaky.
You're absolutely correct. It scares the heck out of me. I mean, I'll never forget. I was having a panic attack, and a doctor once told me, he says, "Have you died from it yet?"
No, but the thought of it makes me anxious. Okay.
Well, he did. He looked right at me and he says, "Have you died from a panic attack?" I said, "Not yet, but there's always tomorrow."
Yeah. Give it time. No, I mean, you feel though, but people do feel like they're going to die. And that's the scary part. And I can't, you're probably not going to die, but that feeling that it's imminent is freaky. And the problem is that you see the memory stays. It's PTSD. You've got that in you. Those symptoms start to come out and you start freaking out again. It's this self-perpetuating feeling. And I got to tell you, dude, I mean, so many millions of people have anxiety. Most people don't talk about it. You just look at them and think, wow, how could they be so normal looking? Wow. You don't know what's going on behind closed doors, behind the curtain. Many of these people that look okay are in panic mode all the time.
Absolutely. No, I mean, that is absolutely correct. I mean, I go in panic mode. I do. I mean, I haven't done it for a while and we're going to share some of the things that what we do. But I haven't gone in panic mode for a while now. And I want to explain later in that, but I mean, you have some secrets too, right?
We all have secrets, right? That's why they call them secrets.
Yeah, secrets. But I'm going to share. You're going to share your secrets tonight?
I'll maybe share a couple of little things I wouldn't tell some people. But I mean, it's nothing to be. Here's the deal: nothing to be embarrassed about, especially when you understand that probably everybody listening to this or watching us is what we call ultra sensitive. That is, your makeup is very sensitive. You're an empath, so you feel everything, and it doesn't really take much to set off an ultra sensitive empath into a full-blown panic attack.
What is an ultra sensitive person? I know that you've got this beautiful book and everything else. Tell me, what is it?
An ultra sensitive person is someone who is wired differently than the rest, that feels everything about everybody, that can have their entire physical, emotional, spiritual, and mental life set off balance in a single moment by the most gentle little thing. In other words, it takes almost nothing to set off these individuals. They're wired genetically different. We're genetically different. Now, it doesn't make us superior, but it does make it different for us, makes it very difficult to function in life. And I know that many of you that are listening to this really get this, and you haven't been able to share this with anybody. No, but you're not like anybody else. You feel lost and alone on this rock. Like, what the hell am I doing here? And then, along with that, Rod, check this out. I mean, do you ever get up in the morning and feel like you have performance anxiety?
No, okay. What's that?
That's like when you get up in the, for me, I have that sometimes. I think a lot of people who are out in the public eye, a lot of people who are famous, celebrities and so forth, are well known to have panic and anxiety before they go on stage. They have to perform. And as that thought gets in your head, and all of a sudden the panic starts kicking in, you get nervous, your muscles are weak, you feel you can't concentrate, and you got to be on stage in 10 seconds?
Absolutely.
That's performance anxiety.
It is, exactly, yes. Been on stage many times and have gone through that many times.
Yes.
So it's, yes, I've felt that many times, getting up in the morning and just feeling I don't want to act today.
No,
I don't want to perform.
Yeah, but exactly. Sometimes we just got to be locked as ultra sensitive empaths. The more sensitive, there's some people, Rod, as you know, they're so sensitive they literally can't leave their homes.
Right. No, I get that. I have clients that are like that.
Yeah, they can't leave their homes.
They have an agoraphobia that they're so scared of,
Yeah, and the other thing, they can't hold down a job because they can't be around people.
Right.
Because they're very sensitive to the energies, and this is the big deal here. They're very sensitive to the energies of people, places, and things, all of which have a vibration, and especially the energies of living or non-living entities or beings. So the energies of people can blow your world up, blow your mind. It does all the time. You know what I'm talking about.
Absolutely. It's kind of funny is that I actually went and, I know what anxiety to me is, and I feel it and everything else, but I went to the Google and I looked it up, what is common anxiety signs. And there actually is a list of what causes anxiety.
Sure.
Feeling nervous, restless, and tense, having a sense of intermittent danger, panic, or doom, having an increased heart rate, palpitations, in other words,
absolutely,
breathing rapidly, hyperventilating, sweating, trembling, feeling weak or tired, trouble concentrating or thinking about anything other than present worry.
Right.
Now, I wanted to address the last one, okay? Because as an ultra sensitive person, that most of us really, we go into this going, I know how to handle this. This is how we do it in the most calm way, blah, 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 right? When you're having a panic attack, you don't remember how to help yourself.
Exactly.
You don't.
That's that feeling of the loss of control. That's what's so scary, because you don't know. First of all, you don't want to be embarrassed and fall over and faint in front of people at work, driving a car. I mean, whatever it may be.
Absolutely. And so this is that part where you start thinking about, okay, anxiety is so much worse than you think, because if you can't imagine how to get out of a situation, it just keeps putting that panic back into you and back into you and back into you. What do you do with it? How does it ever stop?
It's so disabling. It's so debilitating. Did you know, the course, that anxiety, many folks may know this, but anxiety is the most common, I hate this term, mental illness out there. It's the #1 mental illness. And did you know there are almost 300 million people worldwide suffer from anxiety of some sort? And I think that number is way underreported. I think we got almost that much. Most of the planet's in full panic mode right about this time with everything going on out there. So, I mean, that, and it's skyrocketing.
Do not panic.
Do not panic.
Okay.
Yeah. But I mean, and right now, I mean, it's reaching a pinnacle. People are freaking out. Just talked to a gal called me today, one of my old clients who I hadn't talked to in a while. And she was very stable, doing quite well. About a year ago when I last talked to her, she called me today and said her whole world is currently falling apart.
Oh.
I mean, and this is what I'm hearing all over the board. All of a sudden, she's needs to be on meds for panic, for anxiousness, meds for depression. The mood is falling apart. She feels like she can't go on. And this is a common theme right now, with anxiety being one of the top, if not the top, symptom out there.
That's crazy. That is crazy.
Plus, along with anxiety, we're not sleeping. We can't sleep because we're anxious. We can't sleep because our mind is rolling around with a million thoughts. And we're empathic people feeling the world's angst and trying to take that to bed with us. Good luck.
Yes. I don't, the whole thing about this was, I keep saying the past. Every once in a while, I still have a panic attack. I mean, new energies come through and new energies for me panics me. Okay. And I thought I felt it all. I felt I've been through it all and everything else, and I haven't. So, especially this new energy lately, I think there's a lot of energy right now of a lot of people being scared, panicking. They're not sure what's going to happen and everything else. And that there's a lot of people just don't know what's going to happen next. I feel that. And it's like, it's overwhelming to me sometimes. Imagine seeing 8 people in one day and you're telling every person you're okay. Let me calm you down. Let's talk about this, blah, blah, blah. And that at the end of the day, I'm going, what's wrong with me?
You hit it right on the head. A lot of people feel alone. They may be with partners, but when you get anxiety, you feel like you're isolated and you're the only one. But let me be clear. Absolutely. Here. There are literally hundreds of millions of people across the globe and tens of millions all over the world. As I mentioned, you don't know who's going through what you're going through unless you know them, unless you ask them. It's happening. It's peaking out right now. So, but that feeling of being alone can make you feel desperate. And I know what that feels like.
Yep. Well, so do I. I mean, we're not immune to it either in any which way, shape, or form. So.
But I think you're absolutely right about the last 6 weeks, Rod. That I've had the same thing for my clients. The last 6 weeks to the last 8 to 10 weeks have just gone crazy for most everybody I speak to.
It's crazy stuff out there. It really is. Yeah. So how do we get through this? How do we do it?
Well, I'll tell you what, there's a couple things, if I can share a few bits of info for us.
Yeah,
let's talk about some of the unlikely causes, things you may not have thought about, our listeners here. Oh, by the way, thanks for joining us in our first reunion podcast here, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. So yes, listen, exactly. Here's some unlikely things you probably didn't think about that could be triggering your anxiety. Number one, of course, galactic events, full moons, retrogrades, all the star alignments, that are happening out there. All of these affect our energy fields and can cause issues. When the full moon comes around, all bets are off. I'm not sleeping and I feel like crazy, very crazy. Why do you think you hear the word lunatic, which means literally moon tick? So lunatics do get anxious and out of control. So those galactic energies can certainly change the way we feel. Now, a big part of this for me is that as ultra sensitive, we have auric fields that are very sensitive. Our aura is very sensitive.
Yep.
Anything electric, because we're electric, anything electric that intercepts our aura is going to mess us up. And one of the top problems right now is the exposure to EMF, to cell towers, to Wi-Fi, for the almighty 5G LTE. I'm sorry, but that's blowing your circuits. It has been, it will continue to, and they're rolling out more and more of that. That has a direct effect. One of the top symptoms of EMF, electromagnetic field exposures, is anxiety, insomnia, depression, autoimmune disorders. It goes on and on, but anxiety, number one. So check your house. If you have Wi-Fi going, if you're in front of this computer like we are, I try not to be in front of it too much, but if you're in front of it for long periods of time, if you live in an apartment complex where all that Wi-Fi is coming from all angles, you're going to have more anxiety than those who don't. Electronics in the bedroom. If you're not going to sleep. If you have electrics in your bedroom, good luck.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And so, what do you do?
Breathing. And you know what I really work hard to is I just work on refocusing my attention. because it's easy. Like you've been up in the middle of the night and all of a sudden your mind is rolling, and the more you think about it, the more anxious you get. And it's like, let me think about something fun, pleasant that I enjoy and try and change the focus. That, and then you're learning how to breathe correctly. Most of us don't, of all people, because it's one of your gigs and one of the things you work with directly is breathing. And most of us are not breathing fully, deeply. And it is that increase in CO2 that is causing us to feel, carbon dioxide is causing us to feel more anxious. So breathing is a huge component of that building of anxiety. We tend to hold our breath, especially when we get nervous. It's a catch-22. You keep doing it, and it just builds on itself. So you want to get yourself not breathing and start breathing through your nose and learn the rhythms and the techniques. Get it online or get the books and go to a course. Breathing's important.
Breathing's very important.
You've got to breathe every day.
You have to. In and out.
Another cause that I want people to think about here, figure out where you're living. I mean, who lived in your house before you did? What happened in that house or home or apartment before you did? Have the energies been cleared? Likely not. Or it can get even deeper than that. And I mean that literally. Thank you for that. Yeah, psychedelic.
I'm clearing your house.
Please do. We all need to clear our house and our space, because we get attacked by all kinds of energies on a regular basis, especially when they hit the ultra sensitives. But the key here is, if you live in a haunted house, if you live in a house where there's been a divorce, if you live in a house where there's been a trauma that occurred there, or if those traumas occurred on the ground underneath your house at any time in history, you don't know what went on under your house 1,000 years ago or 100 years ago or 50 years ago. Those things can affect ultra-sensitive beings.
Absolutely. Yep. Yep, that's very true. That's very new.
What do you do, Rod? What do you do when you start getting anxious?
I drank.
Okay.
I am not a drinker.
I'm with you. Okay. I'm going with that right now.
Yes, I do remember sitting at a kitchen table with you and having one beer going, you know what? That was one beer.
But it was this big.
It was big. So yeah, so no, I'm not a drinker. So it's interesting is I can't think of the name right now. It's psychometry, okay? Somebody that has psychometry feelings and that are more apt to have a higher degree of anxiety. And psychometry is about holding an item and actually feeling the energy of that it came from, where it's from, looking dimensional and everything else in that. Imagine the angst and the anxiety that's on this, and you're a person that has psychometry gifts and you don't even realize that you have this. So something that I found, because I do a bit of psychometry myself. I know that there's different gifts I have, I'm just an empath. I'm just going to say I feel everything. Okay.
Yeah,
just going to say that.
Yeah, I do.
So exactly. So as an empathic psychiatrist, a medium, blah, 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 you really can't have one thing that's going to work for you. Okay. It doesn't take just one thing. Now, the first thing I did was I learned Reiki. Okay. Reiki was the first thing that ever put me into that mode to feel calm and relaxed about things. And I was able to grasp on and find out my foundation, hold on, know about grounding, protection, and everything else of that. Well, after I realized that I started still having bouts of anxiety, even after I was practicing and studying and Reiki and that. So I knew that I had to go beyond that. And I found out that for myself and working with clients all these years and everything else that have anxiety and that is creating a ritual. I mean, it's just as simple as creating this ritual, because like we talked about earlier, is that when you're going through this panic attacks and everything else, you forget what it is like what you can do to help yourself. You don't remember how to help yourself. But if you have a ritual and you go through this ritual, you're going to remember and recall the ritual. And that's one of the biggest things for me that helps me is my ritual. And a ritual is once a week I take a spiritual bath and everything else. The spiritual bath is very cleansing. It cuts all the cords and everything else. And that I set the intent every Sunday that old cords are cut, old everything. And my ritual is to set the intent, let it go, and let it be. Take my spiritual bath or spiritual shower, whatever else. And by then, my anxiety starts dropping more and more and more.
Let me ask about your spiritual bath. What do you put in your bath water?
Water.
Okay. Now, I like that. It's fine. But a lot of people do well by adding what we call the salt and soda bath, which of course.
Right. And I kind of stay away from my salt and soda baths too. For me, it's, I mean, not saying it's bad. Okay. Just for me, it's not my thing. I put myrrh, I put sage, and I put a little bit of eucalyptus in there.
Well, how about some lavender, my friend?
I haven't done lavender. I haven't been a lavender fan for bath and that. I do like to smell pretty.
I know, I've heard.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yes, let's moving on. Anyway, so yes, no, I haven't done lavender yet. I have in just a regular bath, but for part of my spiritual bath, a cleansing bath, it's myrrh, sage, and eucalyptus, and those three. So yeah, that's been very helpful for me in that. And I practice Reiki every day, and that was one of the things that I had told my clients and my students and everything else, and that practice after you learn Reiki, practice it 21 days and then get in the habit of practicing it, because it becomes a ritual. And Reiki really does help calm the angst down in that. And I know if I miss a couple of days or whatever else, I feel it. I mean, I don't feel right. So
I think that's a great idea, Rod.
Yeah. Rituals are one of the better things that I have found that helps with anxiety in many different ways.
Just flashing back, do you remember in the old days, at least this happened with me, when I had panic attacks, and most of what I had occurred when I was 16, 17, 18 years old, when I was just learning that I knew I was different. I didn't know what all that meant back in the 60s. But I was breathing into the paper bag, the old paper bag trick.
Right. Yep.
And again, it's about breathing. So you're recirculating that. You're bringing down you're increasing your oxygenation, and that calms you down. And that's why nose breathing is so effective for getting to sleep.
Absolutely.
It's very calming regularly. But I remember the old paper bag trick. Did you ever have to do that?
Yep. Yeah. Hyperventilating.
Hyperventilating into the bag.
Yep.
It would eventually calm you. It worked. People still do it, I think.
Right.
There's probably actual real devices they use that are similar to that, that help you change that oxygenation factor. Get you
Absolutely.
calmed down. One of the things I want to talk about a little bit when it comes to causes of anxiety, because so many people these days are taking prescription medications. Millions, tens of millions of women, primarily women, also men, are taking thyroid medications.
Right.
Equal amounts, if not more, are taking blood pressure medications, and millions now, more and more and more, especially over the last year, are now on antidepressants. All three of those categories, those medications can actually increase your anxiety levels. So it's real important to remember, for those of you that are tuning in, who are on prescription medicines like lisinopril or metoprolol or amlodipine or atenolol for blood pressure, those prescription meds for blood pressure indeed have been linked to increases in anxiety. It is an underlooked issue. Make sure you speak to your physician about that and see if there's something they can adjust or change. Ditto for the antidepressants. Great. Your mood may be better, but many of the antidepressants increase anxiety, especially during the initial phase. And sometimes it stays with you. So prescription medications are an issue. Also, when you're taking thyroid medication like Synthroid or Cytomil or Armour Thyroid, number one, for me, I always make sure those are indicated, because for me, most people who take those meds are no more. The main issue is you're iodine deficient.
Right. Absolutely.
But the fact is, if you're taking those prescription medications, they can often increase your level of anxiety, and they're often overlooked as a cause.
Yep. Absolutely. So we can, and my client told me that we can talk about it. It's like we have a client.
I can't hear you, Rod. I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
I don't know what's happening. Ah!
Can you hear me?
I don't hear you, but you sure look darn good. What?
I'm just going to keep talking then.
Did you flip a switch over there? Because I'm not hearing a word.
No, I'm fine. I haven't changed one bit.
Let's see if we can fix this. Let's continue through. Let me make sure it's not. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. You got it?
Yeah.
Did you kick your speakers out?
Something like that. I think it kicked the wire. Okay, we're back. I can see you and hear you. That's
Good.
a combo. Okay, go ahead.
So I know we have a client friend of ours that he already says that we can talk about it. He's been going through palpitations, heart palpitations, and his pulse has been raising higher and higher and higher. And he's dealt with you and me, and we kind of put it together and figured out what was going on with him. But he's been going through some very hard tests. I mean, a nuclear medicine test. He's been doing, just like I had a stress test the other day too, but he's been going through some of these crazy stuff in that. And you and I working together in that, we kind of figured out that they raised his anti-anxiety pills and then raised his olanzapine. And as they raised it up, he started having the panic attacks and his pulse started racing even more, which then caused more palpitations than that, which then triggers the doctor to go, we need to do a bunch of tests on you.
Right.
And I think one of the things you said to him, which was interesting as we're working with him, that you said, you can pay us the $150,000 or whatever it's going to be, or go through the hospital charged for all these tests and that. And he's listened to us and his pulse has dropped. He's doing so much better and everything else than that. And I'm impressed. I mean, it's something, we didn't say you do this because we're not his doctors, but we suggested and worked with him and to work with his doctor and give him some ideas that what his doctor could do to help him and that. And it's helped him immensely. Going to save him tons of money.
Yeah. Well, never mind that. How about the poking and prodding, all the needles and the fear, more anxiety, more tests, more probing, and you don't want that. We don't want that.
No, they're going to give him an angiogram, and an angiogram is a tube up the vein into your heart. Basically, it's very invasive. They're going to do that until they found out, well, if we just lower these two things and your body just calm down, that now he's back to 80, 90 pulse,
Perfect. I'm glad to hear that. That's good.
I thought I'd share that with you. He said I could share that with you too, so that
thank you. Thank you for sharing that. So, again, just a reminder that take a look at your prescription medications and make sure those aren't the problem.
Right.
Not the problem.
Absolutely.
By the way, did you realize that there are a lot of supplements that people take, natural supplements, vitamins, minerals, that can also increase anxiety?
Yes, I didn't know if you wanted to touch on that or not.
That's just for a moment.
Okay.
I talked just for a moment. Just a tiny little moment.
Okay. All right. I was just checking. Go ahead.
In my practice, I do use iodine, as I mentioned, to help improve thyroid function. That's usually the key issue when individuals are having thyroid failure, that's not working properly, and you're gaining weight, losing hair, etc. It's iodine that needs to be supplemented. Now, there are some practitioners out there, not me, that like to use massive doses of iodine. If you take too much iodine, you're going to have palpitations, you're going to sweat, you're going to have panic attacks, you're going to have anxiety. So iodine is one of those natural medicines that can be a problematic issue. Also, you have to remember when the hormones are out for women, mostly women, also men have hormones too, we do, and the same ones you do, women. It's a beautiful thing. But the main thing to understand here is that when your hormones are whacked out, in other words, when you have low progesterone levels, high estrogen levels, that's usually what I find that most women at almost any age, that high estrogen, low progesterone can cause panic attacks, anxiety, insomnia, and a whole ton more. So your supplements can be problematic as well. Don't forget the B complex. The B complex, people think, I'm going to take a B complex. Everybody said I need my Bs. You do need your Bs. but we're ultra sensitives, remember? So
yes,
we don't need a lot of them. So B6 is notorious. B6, vitamin B6 by itself or in a combination, is notorious for causing anxiety. So is vitamin B12 under the tongue or in any form. B12 is a stimulant. And I have a lot of people that are very sensitive to it. They can only take a minute dose, if any, otherwise they're going to be panicked all day long. So your B vitamins are a huge culprit in anxiety. So supplements are medicines, they're natural medicines. I treat them that way. Make sure you're not taking the wrong ones or in the wrong doses. Yes.
100% agree with that. You know what? That kind of segues into our event that's coming up here.
Yay, event.
So, so we got this cool event that's coming up. I'm excited about it.
Me too.
I don't know if you're excited but I'm excited.
I'm not excited.
Why wouldn't you be excited? So
I am very excited. I can't wait to do this. This is going to be a fun one, a really fun one. Tell them why.
Okay, so it's two wise men delivering a healing message. I mean, that's the fun thing in already. Okay, that's just fun. Okay, two wise men delivering healing messages, and the reason it is going to be so much fun, okay, is first of all we set a time. You know, there's only a certain amount of people that are going to be allowed in because we want to get to everybody in that. Part of this is I'm going to introduce the DRT that. So I think that will be such a great thing, DRT.
That's something really special you've been telling me about.
It is. It's dimensional reconnection therapy. Okay. So dimensional reconnection therapy, DRT, and that is part of finding out that we may have an illness within our part of our dimension or whatever else in that, and which dimension it could be stuck in, and that. And this is going to help and understand what we're going to do and how we're going to help pull that out. So it's not just going to be me telling you, okay, I'm finding it in this dimension, this is what organs it's messing with. That it's not just me telling you that. What we're going to do is we're going to actually send energy to that to reconnect with you with it. And once you reconnect to it, you're going to be able to let it go. That, because now then it's going to be a lot better. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and you don't have to go back and suffer the trauma of it like you would in a regression.
We shouldn't. We should never have to go back because it's the trauma is not it's the energy of that we need to change. We don't change. The person's always going to be there if there's a person that caused the trauma. Person's going to be there. We can't change the person, but we can change the energy of everything. And this is us doing the DRT and taking it in a dimensional look and going right to that reconnection and rebalancing everything within that reconnection.
I love it.
Yep. And you are going to be doing what?
Well, I'm going to be doing some fun stuff too. So I'm going to make sure that we try and reach everybody in our group that day, everybody in attendance.
Right.
But I'm going to actually be checking. Check this out. I'm going to be checking, tuning in first, and then checking your hormones, your progesterone, estrogen, testosterone levels. I'm also going to be checking your thyroid levels. I will tell you what my results are based on what I feel and what I'm checking. I will be using AK, several different techniques of what we call energy testing, what I call energy testing, or as known as applied kinesiology. I'll be using that as a actual secondary check. So I'll be tuning in and checking your progesterone, estrogen, and testosterone levels, and your thyroid hormones. And I'm also going to be checking your iodine levels. This is key. Most people are deficient. We'll find out exactly how far deficient you are. Everyone will make an effort to get to everybody. So check this out. This is not, I don't know anybody's been doing this, going to do this, has done this, but we're going to have a darn good time, and we'd love you to be there. Rod, what's the specifics on what's our details of that?
So would you like to know the hack of it? No, I'd like to know myself. So it's March 20th at 1 p.m. Arizona time. March 20th at 1 p.m. Arizona time. And we're going to go for 2 hours, and it's going to be fast paced, boom, 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 get to the point, get to it, in and out, boom, boom, boom. That's what I'm excited about. I think part of this is are we going to actually show people how to check themselves too, or something. And we're gonna,
Sure.
I mean, we're gonna teach
Why not?
different types of applied kinesiology or muscle testing, whatever else, on things that you can check yourself out on, and it's really great. That
We're gonna have some fun. Yeah, that's gonna be great time. So, how do they get signed up for this one?
So they can either go to reikirod.com, and I'll put everything down there, and it'll be on the reikirod.com. It has where to buy it at. You can go to Facebook and type in Two Wise Men Deliver Healing Messages, or go to our Facebook and just follow. There's links there. Look it up. Send us a message if you want to, and that we'll get you there. We'll get you there. It's also, if you'd like, you can actually call or text. Don't
it again if we can.
There we go, because it just stopped. So they can call 480-788-9580. Text me is better, and ask where. I'll send you a link. I'll send it out to you. Something really cool though, that you can go to solo. It's solo.to/reikirod. And you'll see all kinds of cool stuff on there. That solo, solo.to/reikirod. And I think there's a Reiki thing right here. It says Reiki right there, REIKI, Rod. And when you pull that up, it's got some really fun stuff. You'll get to see everything. But
everything?
Also everything. You get to see everything. And you have a website also.
Yes.
By the way, it's 444 right now in Arizona.
Yay, 444. Woo! Angels, be
Angels.
here.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, you can reach me if you want to reach my website. It's Healing Wizards, plural, healingwizards.com.
Yep, perfect.
I'll check it out.
Check it
and
out.
if you need to see what I'm up to, and my wife Susan, World Wellness Center, but healingwizards.com. Otherwise, I'm gonna look forward to seeing you all, and many people we've agreed to get in. I don't know how many we've limited to, but
I think we can get 20 in there, and I think we've got 4 sold somewhere, so there's 16 that can get in so far. So get them while you can, because
get them while you can.
Don't wait for the last minute. I mean, I got 2 classes already that are sold out, and so you don't want to wait for the last minute.
We're gonna have a good time. We keep this fun and light, as you know. As you can see.
Gosh, yes.
That's how it's gonna be. But we're gonna give you the answers you've been looking for that really make some difference in your life. Have some meaning. We'll get you on track. We'll help get you on track.
Looking for love in all the right places. Looking for love. Anyway, so so anyway, we are going to be probably doing this every other week and that. So I would love to have you guys tune in. You can watch us live on Rod Talks Facebook, or you can tune in and watch us, on Facebook. Did I already say that? Yes.
I think you said that part.
Yeah. Or you can actually go and look up Rod Talks, and you're going to actually find the Bad Boys of Spirituality. And has their own little section. Podcast. You can keep listening to it over. We'll be on. I will have us on. What is the Apple thing? iTunes.
Okay. We're gonna be on iTunes. Are you gonna be?
Yeah.
Are you gonna be singing?
Yeah. No. Just our podcast is gonna be on iTunes. Okay. And we also are signed up for iHeartRadio, so you can actually go to iHeartRadio and look up Rod Talks. Bad Boys of Spirituality. And yeah, we're going to be around. Go into your little Google and you type in Rod Talks podcast, and I'm all over. We're all over. We're going to be everywhere. And right now, we're going to put a challenge out there, because our podcast, as we set right now, is 243rd. I looked it up this morning. It's called Chartable, and then we're 243rd in the list of spirituality for America podcasts.
Awesome.
Okay? That's over 300 million podcasts out there. We're 243rd. Okay.
Yes.
But we're going to be in the top 100 in a couple weeks, I have a feeling. And then we're going to be in the top 10. So I would suggest, maybe if you guys wanted to do some advertising with us, get in soon and get in now, and we will read your advertisement. We'll add that to our podcast. We'll add it to our live show and everything else and that. And like you said, you can text me and I can send you all the information. It's 480-788-9580. Just give me a shout out and say, hey, I want to advertise that. And it's not going to kill you, but I think we want to start monetizing. The more we monetize, the more we can advertise, the more we can get out there, and we can be in the #1 spot of podcasts. And that's where I'm heading for. That's where I want to go to. And I've been there before, going to do it again. I mean, I've been #1 before. So the Bad Boys of Spirituality is going to be on the top dog list.
Before we part, do I have a minute to talk about a couple natural remedies for anxiety?
Oh, absolutely. Please do. Please do.
All right.
Please.
So here's a couple things to consider. Please remember that you use these items with your own full responsibility, and you dose them according to label, but please give some thought to the following ideas to get your anxiety under control naturally. The breathing is very important. Yoga, Reiki, exercise, sex, believe it or not, is very relaxing. If you're not getting that, work on that as well.
What is later? You and I can talk about that.
We can do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sex,
I have no idea what that means. So.
I know. Well, yeah, I'm sure. Beer and wine, by the way, is not a terrible thing. So if you're healthy enough and you're in control, beer is very relaxing, and alcohol in general can be very when it's in control and you're not overdoing it. If you overdo it, it goes the other direction. But it can be very useful, especially beer, which contains hops and other grains. It can be very calming. So those are things you can use. The natural remedy I like, and please write this down, is called Inositol. 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 Payback is sweet. Inositol. Start with about 500 milligrams or so. They come in about 500 to 600 milligrams per capsule. Try one when you don't have to drive. Or it doesn't make you groggy, but it may make you very relaxed. So check it out. See how you feel with one capsule. But you really can't overdose on inositol. You could take up to 20 capsules a day if you're having severe symptoms. I recommend inositol not just for anxiety, but for sleep. If you can't sleep, try that before bedtime. And it's also great for liver support and so much more. So inositol is very useful for anxiety. How about Rescue Remedy? Have you used Rescue Remedy, Rod?
No, but can we go back to the other one?
Sure.
Because I have not sat at all.
Well, stand up for God's sake. Jesus. Okay. Thank you for that.
Sorry, that was a bad dad joke. I get it.
Yes.
Rescue Remedy, yes, I have actually tried it. I like it.
Yeah, it's good for the emotional component of anxiety, and it works for a lot of people. Great for your pets too. Rescue Remedy, little bottle of drops, homeopathic, wonderful. Fish oil. Yeah, fish oil. Fish oil is very helpful for keeping your mind calm and centered, keeping your thoughts more organized. Make sure you're not taking any prescription blood thinners. It can thin the blood, but in many cases it's useful for that. But really, we're using it to keep the firing of the neurons, on target. And over time, over several weeks of use, it can help calm down that nervous feeling. Ashwagandha, the final one I want to comment on today. Ashwagandha is very useful as well. It's an herb, Ayurvedic herb that works very nicely for keeping cortisol levels in check and helping calm the body. Make sure you follow directions on the bottle and talk to your practitioner before you start any new supplement or prescription. You got it? All right. Those are some starters for you. All right.
So have you heard of bioplasma?
Yeah, sure. The salts?
Yeah. What do you think of it?
I haven't used them in my patients. I think they do. People swear by them.
Yep. I've got a couple clients that have had a kind of like cough-like symptoms and anxiety. And I put them on. I told them to try it, some bioplasma and that. Both of them, their coughs went away and they've been calmer than ever. And they're empaths. I will swear to goodness that if you work within the light, you're an empath, that you burn off so many different types of minerals in your body that it exhausts you. that. And I think you need to supplement that constantly. And this bioplasma seems to, I never tell somebody to try something unless I've tried it myself. Yeah. And I even tried it. I like it. It's
cool. I have no
I can actually feel the difference of it.
It's homeopathy. I mean, really, it's homeopathy, and homeopathy can be magic for many people. Not everybody, not all my clients respond, and I don't use homeopathy in my practice, but right. But I think homeopathy has a place in the regimen for natural.
I think so too. Yep.
Can I do a shameless plug on our books? Where's your book?
My book, I sold the last one. My client just took off my last book.
Pity. Here's mine.
Sure.
No, I had to. It's sitting right here. If you are an ultra sensitive, and guess what? You are. This is your lifeline. You are sensitive. How to survive and thrive in a world that doesn't get you. This is your lifeline. Everything I talked about is in here, and so much more. Anything you need to know about how to take care of yourself and survive and thrive as an individual that's sensitive and empathic, it's right here for you. This is the second edition. Make sure you pick it. The second edition is the one you want. All right. Thanks for letting me do a shameless plug. All right.
Dead serious. That's my favorite book, and I'm not kidding. That
you're saying that for real?
No, I'm saying that for real. I really enjoyed that book. I did. Somebody stole it though.
So. I'll get you a copy, as many as you want.
Nah, that's all right. I got it memorized.
Okay,
so no, it's a great book anyway. So my book is being turned into an audio class actually. So Chakras, the 7-year cycle, is actually being turned into an audio class, and you're going to be able to see it on so many different platforms, and I'm excited about it. So let's go class.
Yeah, so. You got a lot of stuff in the works, a lot of social media stuff in the works, a lot of events planned out.
Yep.
I get to be part of some of them. But I love what you're doing. I think it's amazing. It's freaking amazing.
Yep. I have a video on TikTok that blew up. I'm excited about it because it's really crazy to have a video blow up like it did. And it's the Gravio numbers, and I don't know if you know what those are, but
I don't really. You were telling me about them. It's
well, I think we should talk more about it on another podcast because we're running out of time here. But the Gravio numbers that I used was 520 or 520. You got to say 0 instead of 0. 520 741 8. Okay, and you meditate or write those numbers down and everything else, and they're supposed to trigger something within us to become a magnet for unexpected money. And the first day that I used that, I was like, oh my gosh, I got $100. Somebody donated $100 to me just out of the blue, and I don't know what for or what. It was just really cool. I was like, good. So I kept saying it. So I made a video about it, and it went viral. So these numbers must work, right? 520 741 8. And 8 is universal, so it's about the universal is taken and putting out in the universe. I want some unexpected money to come in, and so that's what it has been.
I think that's awesome. Congratulations on that TikTok.
Yeah, it's Reiki Rod on TikTok. You look up Reiki Rod and check me out. That I think I'm well over 10,000 followers now. So
all right.
I'm excited. So,
nice.
So my name's Rod Lyman, and known as Reiki Rod. My partner over here, Dr. Emil. We're going to be back in less than a week, I guess. So we're going every other week, aren't we? So we're going to be back in another week, another 2 weeks, I guess. And we'll have a new topic. Look for us on Facebook. Listen to us and find out what's coming up, because we always have something cool coming up.
Every other week, every other Wednesday.
Every other week. Yep, every other Wednesday.
At 4.
You're loved, and I am blessed. Bye.